Just in review from last week, when you've looked at it again, what was the main takeaway for you?
Oh, we need to be a lot better on our edge defence. We had some real deficiencies there, particularly in the sort of opening passages of the game, and probably overall just a little bit of patience on the end of our attack. We overplayed and probably missed a few chances where the game could have been much closer.
So do you fix that up through training, or do you fix that up through a change of personnel?
Yeah, training and just acknowledgement and watching it through video and just working through the mental processes that go into some of that stuff. Obviously, it's a short turnaround, so there's only so much practice you can get done from a Sunday to a Friday. So
I was going to say, as every session goes by that you've been in charge of, are you starting to see a difference with the group?
Yeah, I would say so. And they're probably understanding the way I speak and the way we're doing things clearer with each day. I'm looking forward to seeing some evidence of that.
So given the squad you've announced, how different could the 17 look on Friday?
Well, we're about to train, so we'll have a clearer idea around that after the session. There's a few people to check through, and but there won't be a lot of changes to last week's team.
Positional changes a possibility?
Yeah, possibility there. We've got a lot of flexibility and versatility around our spine players, and Hardacre being able to play multiple positions. So we're still working through the final makeup of that, but the personnel won't be too much different.
And how's Zach been in the wake of last week's game, given the sort of things he's been going through leading into it?
Yeah, well, obviously a disrupted sort of last 4 or 6 weeks with a change of club and some other health things going on there. And for anyone to deal with, I thought he did a pretty competent job last week to get the ball rolling on the back of that prep. And he's recovered well and certainly had a spring in his step yesterday. So we're looking forward to, Zach building on that. Even though he's an experienced player, it's still important to, he had to start somewhere last week, and I thought he had a solid start on the back of the prep that he'd had.
Your first home game in charge goes without saying. How special an occasion will it be on a personal front for you?
Yeah, certainly very, very special. It's a privilege to be a coach at this club, and not a lot of people get to do it. So certainly, it's something very special, and I'm sure I'll savor it at some point. But it's about the players and the club tomorrow. It's certainly not about me, but it'll be something to reflect on in the future, that's for sure.
You'll have been there for a match day before, won't you?
Yeah, I've been to Headingley lots of times as a very young kid, when my father was a coach over here, and I coached in London. I was an assistant coach there for a couple of years, and during the Tony Smith era of Leeds, and it was on the wrong end of a few hidings here, so it would be nice to be on the other side of it.
How did you find the atmosphere then when you were at Headingley?
Oh, special, yeah. Unlike any other place that I've been to watch rugby league, so I look forward to that.
2 sides in the game, of course. What do you think you'll get from Wakefield?
I'll get a team that are going to fire some bullets at us. They've got real dangerous outside backs and backfield. They're very threatening. They've got some players that are a bit out of the ordinary with the way they do things for feeder, and some of the way their halves go about things when play breaks down, or a little bit of broken play. They're certainly very threatening. So expect to see some of that, and our job obviously is to minimise the opportunities they get from broken play.
I know you're not a table watcher, but are you conscious that a win would help ease any anxiety around the club?
Yeah, certainly. Every win at this stage is going to be very valuable, and I'm aware of that for sure. But we're certainly process been very much the order of the day in our prep this week.
It's almost a month to the day since you were appointed. How does the size of the job and club compare with your expectations back then?
I don't think it's changed. I knew it was a huge job before I was offered the job, so it's always been a huge job for anyone that's been in the seat. There's big expectations, and I don't think anything's sort of changed there. It's obviously different for any coach that comes in at different times. The state of the club's not in the same position. So understanding where it's at from a playing point of view and staff point of view is something that I've been working on.
And how about the squad as well? Do you feel like you've got a talented squad there to work with?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of, there's some great young players coming through. There's a lot of experience in the group as well. Given the turbulence of the season so far with so many injuries and suspensions, that there's been a lot of, a lack of cohesion and a lot of different combinations. And, we're onto our third different coach, and, there needs to be a bit of time for stability and growth individually and collectively. And I think the collective is the key. Individual resumes and skill sets are important, but only when they're connected with their teammates really well. So that's a big focus for us.
I know there's another break after this week, but how important is it to have a settled team going forward? Something that Leeds really haven't had this year so far.
Yeah, there's always going to be changes from, but you want them to be on your terms rather than forced through injury or suspension. Getting some stability through the next period, I feel is important, but also it's probably a bit of time away until we really know what our best combinations are, because we haven't had that opportunity through the year to work them out. So it could still take a bit of time to fully settle, but stability is certainly something that I'm aware of, the need for that.
Yeah, just following on from that, I mean, does it excite you knowing that, Leeds have not had the strongest team out this season, and what you could do potentially if and when you do get your strongest team out there?
Yeah, I'm really focused on the team that we have out tomorrow. Once we finalise that in a couple of hours' time, that's really my focus. Where there won't be a lot of changes in the coming weeks. We've pretty much got a core group there that are fit and healthy, and it's a matter of combining together and growing as the season goes.
And just in terms of the players' reaction themselves, do you feel like they are buying into what you're trying to get across so far? Yeah,
certainly the energy and the focus and execution at training has been of a good standard. I'm still getting to know individuals about how they go about things and where they're at with their development. But yeah, it's been quality. I haven't had any friction or anything like that. It's just been steady progress, I guess, through practice. Now it's about the battlefield tomorrow.
Can I just ask you about Tom Holroyd? He played in the reserves last week. Obviously, that was his first game.
Yep.
Since January. Is he? He's in the 21. Has he got a realistic chance of playing this week?
He'll be playing at Bradford at this stage this weekend.
Right. Do you think he needs a bit more time to time on the field before he jumps back into Super League?
Yeah, he's had a lengthy break from the game after the long-term sort of injury there. So he got some work done last week in the reserves, but we limited his game time as far as he played 30 minutes, and we just left it at that to get the ball rolling for him. He's obviously a young player with great talents. He's part of our future long-term. So between myself and the performance staff, we feel it's a gradual return to the top level is an appropriate way to go for Tom, rather than thinking very short term. We're certainly thinking long term. Tom's chomping at the bit for it, but he'll be back in contention, very soon.
It was a similar story with Sam Walters. He had a couple of games at Bradford before he came in last week. Were you pleased with what you saw from him off the bench at Salford? Yeah,
I thought Sam came on and did well. He played a good, solid game, which for a young guy stepping in after not having played at this level for so long, he did a competent job. And I think we'll see more growth in Sam as the season goes. He's feeling pretty good about himself, and he had a good start.
Now you've been at the club a couple of weeks and you've met the players. You've got the ball rolling with retentions and re-signings for next season?
Getting there, understanding how the salary cap operates and what people are valued at over here has been something that I've been spending a little bit of time on with a few other people at the club. So yeah, there's some discussions there that are taking place for sure.
And just one final one on Jack Broadbent is there's a link with him to leave the club at the end of the year and join someone else next season. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
I don't read publications, so I'm not aware of where he may or may not be going. Obviously players that are off contract have the opportunity to explore their options, as do we. So I won't sort of be making too many comments about players where they may or may not be.